Where the Sunday test will be?
Good evening. So, how are you all?
Fine, sir.
Fine, sir. Sir, this Sunday test will be?
Sorry?
This Sunday's test there.
Yeah, not sure. Manoj sir only will take care of that. So, we'll ask Manoj sir.
Okay.
Sir, can you allow me, sir? I'm joining from another device.
Okay.
Very allowed. Thank you.
Okay, let's get started now. Let's get started, children. So, today we are going to start a new chapter called geometry. Clear? Today we are going to start for yes.
Sir, you started it, sir.
Already.
When?
Last class.
Last class.
That is coordinate geometry. Today we are going to talk about subordinate Euclid's geometry. Clear?
Coordinate geometry is finished.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sir.
it's a very simple chapter. That is very simple chapter. We have done plotting the points only we have in that chapter. You just go and solve your NCRT problems, and if you want, you can solve RD Sharma problems as well. Nothing is there. Don't worry much about that. So very easy chapter it was. Plotting the points. That is the only concept which has been provided in the 9th standard. Sorry, right? You are 9th standard children, right? So for you guys, that is more than enough. So whatever we have gone through, that is absolutely fine for you guys. Clear? Any doubts?
So this Sunday
Okay, sir.
maths coordinate chapter test.
I'll tell you, please.
Okay.
I'll tell you each and everything. If whether we have test or not, also we have to ask once our Manoj sir first of all. Why? Because like Manoj sir is not feeling well right now, so I'm unable to talk with Manoj sir. So once I talk to Manoj sir, I'll let you know, guys. Clear? All right, children. So today I'm going to talk about a geometry or geometry, Euclid geometry. First of all, we are going to talk about today Euclid geometry. Euclid's geometry. Clear? See here we have so many things I prepared, so many things for that. So Euclid's geometry. Euclid's geometry we are going to talk in this session. Clear? So first, by the part of geometry, first let us understand what exactly the geometry is all about. The word geometry is derived from two Greek words, geo, meaning what is it? Geo and metron. Geo and metron. These are the two words. From these two words, the word called geometry has been derived. Clear? So the word geometry derived from what? Geo and metron. What is the meaning of geo? Geo means earth. Metron is meaning to measure. Earth measuring. What is it? For example, you have you have a land at your farm. For example, you have land like this. So in the olden days, they use it not to have particular measure, particular any device to measure that particular. Okay. So in usual days, how they used to measure? They used to measure with the janas. They used to measure with some random instruments. So as soon as the Euclid and as soon as the Euclid mentioned, as well as the Euclid derived the geometry part, then they started using geometric concepts to measure the lands. Clear point? So that is what, that is not important to learn, that is not important to understand why we are what exactly the meaning of geo, what exactly the meaning of metron. That is not important for your exam point of view. But the thing is you must know what is geometry, what is geo, and what is metron, where the geometry, the name, where the geometry name we got from, right? That is basic knowledge you must know. So that is for the reason I just included the geometry definition. I mean, like, from where you got that. So who derived the who founded the geometry? Euclides. Look at this now. First, before understanding that, in olden days they used to measure No, lands with a particular device. Look at, this is my land. First of all, this is my land. This is my land. Okay, this is my land. How to measure this land now? By you, this is my land. First of all, this is my land. How can I measure with this? By using geometry concept, I can measure that. Clear my point? By using geometry part, I can measure that. So that is a basic concept why we derive the geometry. So first, let us start with the solid. What is solid? So solid means, solid is a shape, size, position, and can be moved from one place to another. So why you are teaching, sir? Are you teaching chemistry or physics or mathematics? No, I'm teaching absolutely mathematics only. But for understanding the geometry concept, you must understand what is solid, what is surface, what is line, what is geometry. So these are the terminology you guys must understand this. Clear, guys? So look at this now. So by the part of that, first I'm starting solid. What is the definition of solid? Solid is a shape. Solid is a shape, size, position, and can be moved from one place to another. Basically, you might have learned in your chemistry. You might be knowing, you might be having an aware better than me. Actually, you might be having a good idea than I. Clear? So what is solid? Solid is a shape, size, position which can be moved from one place to another place. As simple as that. So now let us come with the surface. So what exactly the surface is all about? So what is surface, guys? Everyone knows what is surface is all about. Boundaries of solid are called as surface, and surface has no thickness. Look at this. So boundaries, if you know solid, from that solid you can understand what exactly the surface is all about. Clear? So boundaries of solid is called as what? Surface. As simple as that. Getting my point, children? Isn't it? For suppose you take anything, guys, any solid object. Can you please tell me one example for solid?
Cube.
Cube. Very good. See, first of all, let us take, I'm not good at drawing the diagrams. 1 second. See, why you guys are joining late? I do not understand. Can you please join on time? Who is, you are disturbing in between the class? Who is that? Please don't repeat this. I'm telling you again and again. Don't join late. I'm telling you. I cannot admit you if you are joining in between the session. I must go again to the back of the basic definition. I need to explain to you again. If you are joining everyone on time, so what will happen is I can just go with the flow. If you are joining in between, I must admit individually. It is not going to happen. Actually, it's not possible to admit. So we have only 1 hour of time. Within 1 hour of time, we have to discuss. We should discuss many things over here. So if I keep admitting you guys, if you are disturbing me, if I admit on that, it will go to the Zoom again. I have to switch back to the OneNote, and this is this PDF format. Switching back again to these platforms is difficult, guys. Try to understand. Please be on time. I won't admit you guys if you are joining late. This is for sure. Until and unless you are having some issues, I won't admit you guys. Please, you be ready with your device. Be ready with so don't give me excuses. Please try to be ready with that. Clear? Understand, children?
Yes.
Getting my point? This is for you all. This is for your knowledge. This is your life. You must understand this. Clear? Don't join late. I'm telling you, if you're joining late, I'm not going to admit you guys. Please try to understand this. See, what is solid here? You told that solid is, for suppose, cube. Any cube you take like this. This is my cube. I'm not good at diagram, guys. So please. So let us say you say anything here. Let us draw neatly. Look at this now. This is my cube. Let us see this. Clear? Any doubts? So look at this now. This is my solid. First of all, any solid object in a cube, in a form of cube. See here. So look at this here. Boundaries of this. This is my boundaries, right? Boundaries. These are my boundaries. In the down boundaries. Okay. So these are my boundaries. So boundaries of a cube, boundaries of surface. Sorry, boundaries of solid is called as what? Boundaries of solid is called as surface. So that is what the surface. Everyone might be aware of. Everyone might be having an aware of surface, right? So now let us go with a line. So what is line actually? So line has a length but no width, no thickness. Clear my point? Line has length but no width, no thickness. Everyone see here, if I draw this, it goes on like this. Clear? It has no width, and no thickness. Getting my point, children? So no
Can,
width.
yeah. So can we say faces of solid are called surface and surface is no thickness?
Sorry.
So instead of boundaries, can we replace the word boundaries with faces?
Space. You mean space?
Face, sir.
Face.
Face.
Face. This one. Face. F-A-C. Face.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
of course. See, that is what faces only. We are calling that as a face. For suppose if you take any object, the face of that particular object, the face of every face has a surface, right? Every face has a surface. So you are absolutely right. So boundaries of solid are called as surface, and surface has no thickness. Getting my point? Look at this here. The line. Now coming to the line, line has a length but no width, no thickness. So a tight thread or a tight a light thread or a straight crease obtained by folding a paper is close to a segment of a line. See here, guys, very simple example. A light thread or a straight crease. Crease means what? Line. Crease means a line. So if you are playing a cricket, you might be aware of that. So these are my stumps. So here batsman will be playing here. This is my line, crease. That is a straight line. There is a line. Getting my point? Getting my point, children?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Look at this here. By obtained by folding a paper. If you fold a paper also, you'll get a line. Is close to a line segment. Close to a segment. Segment of a line. Segment means what? If I draw, this is my line segment. Joining 2 points basically. That is a line segment basically. Clear? So we'll discuss many things in further. Look at this. Is there any doubt so far? Clear? Very simple, very basics you might have learned in your 6, 7, 8 standard itself. Okay, so we'll go for this. Next we'll move for the point. What exactly the point is all about? See here, point. What is the meaning of point? Point has position only. It has no length, no width, and no thickness. A point is represented by a fine dot and is denoted by capital letters P, A, R, S, etc. Any alphabet. Everyone knows this. Point means what, guys? Very simple, very simple. Look at this here. So if I write, this is my point here. This is my point. Point has position only. It has no length. It is only position, no length, no width. Getting my point? Point has position only, no width, no length. But line has length but no width, no thickness. For what? Line. Even point has position alone, no length, no thickness, and no width. Getting my point? So point can be denoted by any alphabets, A, B, C, D, till Z, any alphabet. Okay, so now what is the meaning of point? Any fine dot. Fine dot means absolutely, this is my dot, this is my dot. Look at this, a fine dot. This is a point now. Clear? So any fine dot is called as point. So now, as I promised you, as I told you, Euclid's axioms, Euclid axioms and postulates. What is that? Euclid's axioms and postulates. So guys, what does it mean? What are the things made us to learn, axioms and postulates of Euclid's in the lesson called geometry? So very simple and very interesting chapter. Which one? Geometry. So try to understand, children, clearly. So first, Euclid, what Euclid has done. So before founding a lesson called geometry, we used to measure with a random instruments. We not used to use a geometry lesson and geometry concepts, right? So once, as soon as Euclid's found the geometry lesson, so everyone started using geometry concept in measuring lines, in measuring lands, in measuring a wall surface, everything, whatever, in measuring everything, measuring your hip size, measuring your height, measuring your biceps, measuring your everything, body size, everything, XYZ, everything. Clear? So that is what I'm telling you. Today what we are going to learn? Today we are going to learn Euclid's axioms and postulates. So first, what is axioms and what is postulates? So let us try to understand what exactly the basic definition of axioms and postulates. So have you heard about axioms and postulates before this session?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So
No,
let us
sir.
try to understand. Very, 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 very interesting. Very, 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 very beautiful. So try to understand, everyone. So Euclid assumed certain properties which are actually obvious universal truth and divided them into two types. So guys, basically axioms and postulate means what? What is the meaning of that? Basic, universal truth. Universal truth. What is universal truth? Basically, tell me one example. Sun rises in the east.
Which is
Sun.
agreed by everyone, sir.
Sorry.
A universal truth is a fact which is agreed by everyone.
Yeah, the fact which is agreed by everyone. Very good definition. The sun rises in the east. The sun sets in the west. Honey is very sweet. Clear? So these all are what? Universal truth basically. So like that, the universal truth is what? A fact which is agreed by everyone. Very good. So look at this here. So that universal truth divided into two types. What are they? So postulates and axioms. So what exactly the postulate is all about? What is that? Postulates. So postulate means assumption of specific, the assumptions specific to geometry. 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 It is what? Postulate. Clear? Assumption.
Sir, these assumptions were the universal truth.
Yeah, first of all, look at this. Not universal. It's not like that. See, the assumption, what? That is not like that. See, universal truth and divided them into two types. See, what exactly meant by Euclid? Euclid assumed certain properties. That property he has divided into two types, but not universal truth. Getting my point? See, what he's saying here, Euclid assumed certain properties which are actually obvious universal truth. He just assumed couple of properties. He assumed a couple of properties which are universal truths, right? And those properties he had divided into two types. What are they? Postulates and axioms. So now postulate means what? He assumed universal truths. So whatever he has assumed, that became as a universal truth. Clear my point? Clear my point?
Okay, sir.
So the assumptions specific to geometry. Postulate means, axioms means the assumptions used throughout mathematics and not specifically linked to geometry. Axioms means what? Assumptions used throughout geometry, throughout mathematics. So whatever we are assuming throughout learning mathematics, that is what axioms, and not specifically linked to geometry. That is not exactly, specifically linked to geometry. So that is axiom. So let us try to understand what exactly the axioms and postulates. So he has introduced couple of axioms and couple of postulates. So let us try to understand what are the axioms has been released. What are the axioms, what do you call that? What are the axioms has been told by our Euclid mathematician. Let us try to understand. So first axiom, look at this here, first axioms. So Euclid's axioms. So things which are equal to the same things are equal to one another. That is, if A is equal to C and B is equal to C, then A is equal to B. Here A, B and C are same kind of things. Are simple, very simple. How beauty it is to understand, how beautiful it is, very, how beautiful it is to understand clearly. Look at this here. Let me understand. Let me explain you clearly. First, suppose guys, things which are equal to the same things which are equal to the same thing are equal to the one another. That is, if A is equal to C, if guys look at this, if A is equal to C and B is equal to C, then I can say A is equal to B, isn't it? A is also having C, B is also having C, then can I say A is equal to B? Of course, yes. See here, A, B, C are what? Same kind of things. Getting my point, children? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Yes. Very simple. That is an axiom. Everyone knows this. Even LKG boy knows this fact, isn't it? Even LKG boy. Of course, he might not be. He might not be knowing that. But LKG boy, in the sense, it's a bacha concept. It's very.
It's a common sense.
It's a common sense. It's a Tom and Jerry basic chotu concept to understand. Clear? Chalo. Shall we go for the next one? Shall we go for any doubt here? Absolutely. Any doubt here? Superb, excellent, stupendous,
Yes, sir.
amazing.
Yes, sir.
Crystal clear.
Chalo. We'll go for the next axiom. So Euclid's axioms. Euclid axioms. One more axiom. Second axiom. So if equals are added to equals, the whole are equal. What is that? If equals are added to equal, the overall equal. So that if A is equal to B and C is equal to D, then A plus C is equal to B plus C, B plus D. Then A is also A is equal to B. Then this implies that A plus C is equal to B plus C. Look at this. What does it mean? So let me try to understand here. So guys, equals are added to equals. The whole are equal. Look at this. For suppose, guys, look at this here. If X is equal to Y, clear? X is equal to Y. So if I say X is equal to Y, look at this, everyone. Everyone try to understand this. If X is equal to Y, if I add 2 on both sides, what I'm going to get now? Shall I say X plus 2 is equal to Y plus 2? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. You can say.
Now if I cancel 2 on both sides, again it is going to be remain same, right? So that is what the reason I'm telling you. If equals are added to equals, if equals are added to equals, I'm adding. See here what I told you now here. I told X is equal to Y. Clear? I told X is equal to Y. So these all are equal. I'm adding now equals. I'm adding equals means I'm adding equal numbers. So 2, 2. I'm adding equal on both sides. Now this one, both are equal, right? Isn't it? That is what the Euclid's axiom says to us. Common
Sir,
sense.
here we can write A plus D is equal to B plus C also, right?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me go through that. You are right. Look at this here. See here, if equals are added to equals, then whole are equal. So if A is equal to B and C is equal to C, what is saying? If A is equal to B and C is equal to D, then see here, if I add these two, I'm adding these two. What I'm going to get here? So A is equal to B and C is equal to D. I'm adding this now. Add this, all this. A plus C is equal to B plus D, as simple as that. If I add these two, getting my point? Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Sir, but
Yes,
then we can use the same pair for both of them, right?
Sorry?
We can use the same pair, right?
Of course, you can use. Nothing wrong.
Yeah, but then the answer will be like twice the value, right?
No. Look at this. You are understanding in a different way. See here. Let me explain you here. Look at this here. If A is equal to B and C is equal to D, clear? This and this are equal. This and this are equal. If I add these two, what I'm going to get here? A plus C and B plus D. A plus C and B plus D. So what is saying? If equals are added to equals, I'm going to get equal. That is what is meaning, right? These two are equal here. So if I'm adding these equals, if I'm adding these two equals together, whatever I'm getting, this is going to be equal. That is what the meaning of this axiom. Clear? So look at this now.
So there are two pairs, right?
Yeah, there are two pairs. If you add those two pairs, again you're gonna get same, equal. The whatever the result you get, that is also going to be equal to. That is also going to be equal to the whole equal. Clear? So look at this here. Also A is equal to B. Then this implies that A plus C is equal to B plus C. A plus C is equal to B plus C. Look at this here. If A is equal to B, you write here, guys. Now I got this result, right? If I got this result, if I substitute A is equal to B, means in place of A, if I substitute B, what I'm going to get here? Or in place of A, if I substitute B, what I'm going to get here? Tell me.
B plus C is equal to B plus D. A plus C is equal to A plus D.
Look at this. Let us try to understand. So here, what I'm doing here? If I substitute, if A is equal to B, if A is equal to B means in place of A, I'll be substituting B. In place of B, I'll be substituting what? Let it be B as it is. So B will get cancelled. C is equal to D. Now this is one case. So if I substitute in place of A, so in place of B, if I substitute A, what I'm going to get? In place of B, I'm substituting A. Let me write A as it is. In place of B, I'm substituting A. Why? Because A is equal to B, right? So D. So if I cancel A is equal to, again I'm going to get C is equal to D. Look at this here. C is equal to D. C is equal to D. Getting my point? Any doubts? So,
No
any
doubts.
doubts?
No, sir.
Very simple, very common sense. Don't worry. There is nothing much to understand. Clear? So next axiom. So look at this. If equals are subtracted from equals, then remainders are equal. Very simple. There we added. Here we are subtracting. As simple as that. Clear? Getting my point, children? There we added.
Yes, sir.
Yes, there we have added. Here we are subtracting. That's all. If equals are subtracted from equals, then reminders are equal. The reminders are what? Equal. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now look at this here. Here Euclid's axioms. So next axiom. Things which are coincide with one another are equal to another. Simple, guys. Things which are coincide with one another are equal to one another. What can any one of you please explain me this? What does it mean? Guys, simple. Things which are coincide. Coincide means what? Matching. If things are coincide with one another, then one another are equal to one another. Huh?
Like that.
Sorry?
If things are equal to one another, and then they are equal to
one another.
What is that? Can you please explain this?
Sir, can you explain with example?
See, what I'm telling is, can you please explain these things which coincide with one another are equal to one another? What's the meaning of this? What's the meaning of this? Explain this. Make it fast.
the things which
hence-
are like at the same time, like a plus b is equal to b plus a, like that.
Hmm? Yeah. See, things which
Sir, can I
coincide.
explain?
Yes, Piyush.
Sir, if A is equal to B and C is equal to D, then A minus C is equal to B minus D
A minus C.
is equal
You're talking about subtraction. That is correct. That we have done with. I'm talking about this one now.
Sir, the things which are corresponding to each other will be
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Very good. Look at this. If I take any triangle, look at this here. If I take any triangle, if I take two triangles like this, very good.
So then this should be a postulate, right?
One second.
Related to geometry.
Yes. I'm just telling you, this will be a postulate, but I'm explaining you. Clear? I'll be explaining you in postulate as well. Don't worry. For understanding purpose, I'm just telling you. Clear? So look at this, everyone. Everyone try to understand which things which coincide with one another. For suppose if I have two equilateral triangles, if I have two same triangles, here AB is coinciding with what? PQ. Why? Because both are having same side. For suppose, let me say, if you are not taking equilateral triangle, let me say that this side is equal to this side, this two ground part is equal to this ground part, and this will be equal to this part. Look at this. Clear? Any doubt? Any doubt here?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir.
Sir, can you explain if equals are subtracted from equals?
One second, please. See, things which coincide with one another are equal to
Sir,
one another.
not this one.
1 second, please. See here, what I'm telling is, here AB is coinciding with PQ. So PQ and AB are equal. Here BC is coinciding with QR. So BC and Q are equal. Here AC is equal to PR. So AC is equal to PR. That is what the concept of this axiom. Tell me which one?
Sir, I have a doubt in this.
Equals are subtracted from equals.
Subtraction same da. Look at this. Whenever you are adding two things, the correspond. See, whenever you are adding two equals, the whole are equal. That is whatever we have explained. Same for subtraction. See here. If A is equal to B and C is equal to D, if you subtract, what will you get? Subtract from this to this. What are you going to get here? 1 second.
A minus C
Why
equal
do
to
I
B
want
minus
to
D.
Let me write A is equal to B, C is equal to D. Subtract this. A minus C is equal to B minus D. So these two are equal now. Isn't it? That is what the concept. That is what the concept. If you subtract, add, the whole will be also equal. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Chalo, next.
Sir, the Euclid's axiom, things which contact with each other, one another are equal to one another. Sir, if this is related to geometry, then it should be considered as an postulate, right?
Of course, yes. See, of course, yes, da. See, I'm not telling you are wrong. Of course, yes. But for your understanding purpose, I'm just taking a triangle and explaining you in axiom. I'm talking about only coincidence here. Coincidence here. Coincidence. I'm taking an example, but I'm not telling that that is not a postulate. That will be a postulate. For understanding axiom fact, I'm just explaining you by taking an example, by taking a triangle example. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Look at this here. Huh. We have done with this. Next axiom: the whole is greater than the part. The whole is greater than the part. So what does it mean? The whole is greater than the part. Very simple, yaar. Look at this. So if I take one pizza, look at this here. If I take one pizza, everyone know pizza, right? So one pizza having 4 sides, 4 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4. The whole will be, of course, greater than a single pizza, like this single piece, isn't it? This whole will be, of course, greater than single piece, isn't it, guys? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Of course, that is what
Yes,
that is
sir.
what the meaning of that. That is what the meaning of that. If you take a pizza, guys, the pizza, whole pizza will be equal to a slice of pizza. That is what the whole is greater than one part. The whole is greater than the part. The part is means one part here. Is the part means he's talking about one part. The whole is greater than the part. Greater than the part. So if A is equal to B, then there exists C such that A is equal to B plus C. Very simple. Very simple, guys. So here B is a part of A. Therefore, A is greater than B. As simple as that. I told you very beautiful example, pizza example. You try to understand that. Clear? Any doubt here? What is saying here? If A is greater than B, guys, if A is greater than B, there exists C such that A is equal to B plus C here. Whole is what here? A. B plus C is what? A part. 2 parts together. So if I take whole pizza like this, here 1, 2, 3, 4, which will be greater than, this will be greater than 2 parts, half, 1, 2, isn't it? That is what he's saying here. And now these 2 parts are part of this whole part, isn't it? Isn't it? These 2 parts are part of whole part. So that is what is saying here. So here B is a part of A, and therefore A is a greater than B. Very simple. Next axiom. So I'll be sharing these notes, don't worry. I'll be sharing these notes. So next axiom: things which are double of the same things are equal to another array. Look at this here. If I have A, B, C. For suppose if C has 10 rupees, if C is 10 rupees, then what can I say? Things which are double of the same things are equal to one another. So how can you please give me an example? If B has 10 rupees, then A is going to be, A has 2 times of C, B has 2 times of C, and A also has 2 times of C. So if these two are having 2 times of C, means what? A will be having 20 rupees, B also will be having 20 rupees, C will be having what? 10 rupees. Clear? Any doubt here? So things which are double of the same things, things which are double of the same things are equal to one another. What does it mean? Things, so things, whatever the thing here, C is there. C is double of
A and B.
B is double of C here. So now A is equal to B here. Now therefore I can say now A is equal to B. Clear? Now instead of say, can I say like this? 2 times of C is equal, 2 times of C is equal, 2 times of C is equal to A. Can I say like that? Yes or no? 20 is equal to 10, right? That is what I'm saying here. So very simple example, guys. Look at this here. If C has 10 rupees, then A and B having 20 rupees. How? As per this axiom, as according to this axiom, things which are double of the same thing. Look at this here, having same, which are having double. Double means double to C. So 20 getting here. So they are equal to one another. So A and B are equal here. Very good. Any doubt? Any doubt here? Tell me. Any
No,
doubt?
sir.
Very simple.
No, sir.
Chalo, next example. Next, things which are halves. There we spoken about double, here we are speaking about half. That's all. See here, look at this here. Let me explain here. See here, things. If I have here A, B, C. If C has 10 rupees, then A is going to be what? 5 rupees. B is also 5 rupees. So A is equal to B. Clear? Things are half of the same of the things are half of the same things are equal to one another. The things are halves of the same things are equal to one another. So half of the, so here A is equal to what? Half of C. B is equal to what? Half of C. So these two are equal now. Can I say now these two are equal? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we
Yes,
have
sir.
done, yes, we have done with axioms now. So now let us try to understand what are the postulates we have. Postulates. So what exactly the first postulate says to us? What exactly the first postulate says to us? So a straight line may be drawn from any point, drawn from any one point to any another point. Look at this here. 1 second. See, a straight line may be drawn from any one point to another point. If I have, look at this, guys. If this is my one point, this is one point. Straight line can be drawn from this point to this point. This is what this postulate says. That is universal truth. So straight line can be drawn from this point to this point. Everyone try to listen. Don't copy now. Don't copy. Why? Because I'm going to share these notes. Don't copy. Everyone try to listen here. So here A and B, I'm having 2 points. A straight line can be drawn from any one point to any another point. That is what he's saying. So what is axiom here? So given 2 distinct points. Now try to understand this axiom now. Given 2 distinct points, there is a unique line that passes through them. So look at this here. There is a only unique line. Guys, this is one point here. This is one point line. So between these 2 points, there is only one line which can pass through. Clear? So it doesn't mean that one line can pass here, 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 one line goes here. It is not like that. Only one line is possible to pass between these 2 points. Only one line is possible to pass through these points. Getting my point? There are no multiple lines which can pass through these points. There is only unique line. Getting my point, children? So between 2 points, only one line can be possible to draw. So one line can be pass. One line can be drawn